Hi and welcome to Terry Talks Movies. I'm outside today. Hopefully there's not going to be too much extraneous noise. And I've got a movie haul from various thrift stores. I also went to Cash Converters, which is our local pawn shop chain, and picked up some interesting things. And there are a couple of things that I actually bought new, but for the most part this is going to be a haul of cheapo stuff that I got because I was wandering around the dusty shelves of various stores. Let's get started with the stuff I actually paid full price for. I picked up a couple of Imprint things and one Umbrella thing that I didn't have in the collection, but that I wanted. The first one is a movie directed by Alan Rudolph, which I wanted, but I didn't get as a reviewed copy from Imprint, so I have paid full price for it. It stars Jennifer Jason Leigh, Matthew Broderick, Campbell Scott, and it's a movie from 1994 called Mrs. Parker and the Vicious Circle, which is about Dorothy Parker and the Algonquin Round Table, all of those witty people from 1930s New York. Haven't seen it for a long time, but I remember enjoying it, so I thought I'd give it a go. And Imprint, of course, always do interesting films, so that one's going to be a bit of a comfort watch for me and something that I will pick up and enjoy at some stage very, very soon. Then I had to get this one from eBay because it had sold out from Imprint and I couldn't find it in any of the JB Hi-Fi stores. It's a movie from 1939 which made William Holden a star, Golden Boy, which is the boxing film about a young violinist who can only make a living by punching other people. And it's a cliche of cinema these days. In fact, it gets referenced directly in the Monkees movie Head, with Davy Jones playing the William Holden character. Haven't seen it, but I like William Holden a lot, and I thought I'd see something early in his career. It also stars Adolphe Menjou and Barbara Stanwyck, who gets top billing, and I really want to check this one out, so I'll probably double feature it with Mrs. Parker and the Vicious Circle. Then I've got something which is a kind of vulgar pleasure. It's a remake of All About Eve, the wonderful Joseph Mankiewicz film from the early 1950s. Showgirls, basically. It's All About Eve with boobs in it.
Nasty substances.
I remember not particularly liking it when I first saw it a long time ago, but I thought I'd give it another go, and I may well enjoy it this time around. This is Region B Lock, this one, and it's from Umbrella. It does have a whole bunch of extras, including You Don't Know Me, a feature-length documentary that explores the legacy of Showgirls. So I'm going to give that one a go at some stage in the near future. Now on to the cheaper stuff. I've got two things on the TV series, or at least streaming series, and both of them are high quality. In fact, one of them is still in the original shrink wrap. Got it for $5, but it's got a lot of good actors in it, including Steve Buscemi and Timothy Spall. Bryan Cranston is in there as well. Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams, which is an anthology series of adaptations of the works of Philip K. Dick. And being the science fiction fan that I am, I thought I'd pick that one up. I remember seeing a few episodes of it and enjoying it, but now I've got the whole lot, and I'll probably binge it at some stage when I'm sitting on the couch with nothing else to do. Let me know if you've seen it. Let me know if you've seen any of these and you enjoyed them. So that one I picked up for $5 in the shrink wrap. Pretty good deal for me. The other series I got is from about 10 years ago, and it's the first season. I got this for $3. First season of a superhero TV series which is now kind of forgotten, called Alphas, which has David Strathairn starring as a guy who's running a lab where they train and study people with superhuman powers. I remember it being kind of fun. I'm not sure if there's a second series. If there is, I'll hunt around and try to find the second series on DVD. And this is the kind of thing that you don't necessarily need on Blu-ray or 4K, but I want to kind of keep track of the history of science fiction films, and this is definitely a part of that. And picking it up so cheaply, it's a no-brainer to get it. This one's in a slim case. Now it says it's an Australian one, but hopefully it's not a dodgy copy. It doesn't look like it. It looks pretty legit. Really skinny case, and it's a computer game adaptation called Wing Commander with Freddie Prinze Jr., Saffron Burrows, Matthew Lillard, and Checky Cario. I remember seeing this way back in the day. I think some of the special effects are kind of sketchy, but I thought I would give that a go, and I may well throw it into a future Science Fiction Saturday video, just looking at science fiction computer game adaptations maybe. There's a thought. I might well do that. I picked that up for $1. Not a bad deal. Now there's a Christopher Nolan film I didn't have a copy of, And I was looking through the shelves and I found a copy of The Prestige. There are a lot of analysis videos about this out on YouTube at the moment, and I watched a couple of them and thought I must watch that one, and I went over to the shelves and I didn't have it, and so I got that for $1, which is a good deal for a Christopher Nolan film. Then I went down to Cash Converters. I got the Blu-ray, and I thought I'll keep the Blu-ray. It actually wasn't Cash Converters, it was a Vinnie's thrift store. And so I picked up the Blu-ray of it, which has got more extras, and of course it's in high definition. And I may well recycle that through to another charity store at some stage in the future. But I'm kind of intrigued by Christopher Nolan. Yes, I've seen Oppenheimer and I enjoyed that. But Prestige is the one that really brought him to everyone's attention, along with the Batman trilogy. So having a copy of that on Blu-ray for $4 is not a bad deal at all. I haven't been able to get the sticker off this one, so I've kind of staggered the cover of it so you can see what it is. It's an adaptation of Red Riding Hood starring Amanda Seyfried and Gary Oldman. That one. And it's got the DVD and the Blu-ray in it, which is always a bonus for me. It's almost like backing it up. If I watch the Blu-ray and the Blu-ray glitches, I've still got the DVD. If I watch the DVD and the DVD glitches, I've still got the Blu-ray. Know very little about this. Who else is in it? Julie Christie's in it. Billy Burke, directed by Catherine Hardwicke. So that may well be worth watching. And I picked it up at Cash Converters for $5. Still a pretty good deal. And I'm going to give that one a go as well. It is a movie that I will watch. I haven't just bought it for the sake of buying it. Adam McKay's The Big Short. I keep hearing things about this and keep hearing good things about this movie, and it's turning up a lot in op shops. I don't know why, but for $1 I'll definitely enjoy it. It's got Christian Bale, Steve Carell, Baby Goose, Brad Pitt. I think Margot Robbie turns up in it at one stage, I'm not sure. It's going to be worth having a copy of and watching. Now, I've got this kind of vague idea for the channel that at some stage I'm going to do a video about biblical epics. So when I find a biblical epic cheaply, I'll pick it up. And this one is one of the usual pious 1950s biblical epics. So it's Richard Burton, Gene Simmons, Victor Mature, and Michael Rennie. The Robe, which is about the robe that Jesus wore when he was hung up on the cross, and how it's got magical supernatural god powers and how it converts Romans and pagans to Christianity. All the usual stuff's in there. Dean Jagger's in there as well, Torrin Thatcher. Gonna check that one out, and I will try not to giggle. Again, it's another one I picked up for $1. Had a copy of Blade that I picked up at the op shop not too long ago, and so I got Blade 2, and this one's a double disc version of it. I'm not sure what the third Blade movie, apparently that's the one where Wesley Snipes phoned in his role, but this one will be worth checking out. Again, it's got Chris Christopherson in it, directed by Guillermo del Toro, which is not a bad thing at all, and so thought I would get that one and maybe double feature it in a future video. Everything is grist for the mill for the channel these days. This one stars Josh Hartnett and Melissa George, a vampire film, and everybody's watching vampire films at the moment because they're all October's almost here and the pumpkin thing's happening. I'm allergic to pumpkins, so every time I see one of those carved pumpkins, the only thing I think of is my skin itching and my lips swelling up if it touches them. 30 Days of Night, about a whole bunch of vampires who move into a town where it's night time in the middle of winter for 30 days, and they kind of feast on the people of the town. Based on a very good graphic novel and worth having a copy of. I didn't have this one. I had the first movie, didn't have the second movie. Another Guillermo del Toro movie, Hellboy the Golden Army, with Ron Perlman, the definitive Hellboy. David Harbour was okay, but Ron Perlman is your definitive Hellboy. It's got a whole bunch of extras on there with Guillermo del Toro. I was waiting around to find a copy of this one. It wasn't in any of the shops new when I was looking around for it. But I've now picked up a copy of it for $5 at Cashies, and not unhappy that I did. I may well double feature them again. This is a very early Blu-ray. You can tell because it says it's PlayStation 3 compatible. Clint Eastwood, John Malkovich, Rene Russo, directed by Wolfgang Peterson, In the Line of Fire, about an attempted presidential assassination by John Malkovich. A solid little action thriller. Runs 128 minutes. The weird thing is this is all region. It's not region locked, so it may even have been at the stage when they weren't region locking Blu-rays, which is kind of golden age for these things, I suppose. I'm not particularly a Clint Eastwood fan. I find him a bit repugnant in various ways. Worth picking up. What did I pay for this? I think it may have been one of my $1 pickups. Or maybe it's $4 at the most. But still, good buy. This one I got because I'm into meathead action films at the moment for no particular good reason. Expendables 2. Stallone, Statham, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis. It's got all of the team back. Meathead action film, and not to be looked into too deeply because you'll be right out the back door of it. When you're in the mood for this kind of thing, you're in the mood for this kind of thing. So I'm going to give that one a go as well. Enjoy the absurdity of this kind of an action film. So there's that. Picked up 3 of these because I'm still trying to do a 24-hour movie marathon where I watch all of the Fast and Furious movies. I've got some of them. I haven't got all of them yet. But it's a project I'm working on, and before the end of the year I hope to get it completed. So I've got Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, which I already had a copy of this, but I can't play it because it's in that weird HD format that was fighting with Blu-ray back in the day, and I've got it mostly as a collectible. This one I haven't seen. It's one of the few I haven't seen already. And so I'm glad I got a copy of that so I can whack the disc in when I do the project. Then I got Fast and Furious 6 on DVD for $1. Not too bad at all. So I'm not spending a lot of money on this project. Then I got Fast and Furious 7 on Blu-ray. I think I paid $3 for this one. Always good to get these movies cheaply when you can. I got this 3-movie collection of George Clooney movies because I wanted one of them. Sometimes you get those triple sets and there's one good thing in them. Previously in a haul I had the one where there were 3 movies in it, and the one I wanted was the 7% Solution, the Sherlock Holmes film with Nicole Williamson in it. And this one I've got Leatherhead's Intolerable Cruelty, and the one I wanted, which is Steven Soderbergh's Out of Sight, with George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez, based on an Elmore Leonard novel. So that's the one I'm going to watch out of that box set. I saw that movie first. I was on a trip to America, spent 6 weeks in America in 1998. I was feeling kind of lonely in Seattle, not sleepless, but lonely. And I went to the cinema there and really enjoyed the movie. You know, I needed to go to a cinema and just sit there, chill, center myself, take in all of the new inputs of being in a new country. And so I watched Out of Sight. So it was a lot of fun to do that. And I want to see whether it's still as good as it was when I watched it at that really odd moment that I had in the United States. So the last thing I've got for you isn't quite a movie, but it's really movie related. I picked this up for $1 at Salvo's. Margaret Pomerantz and David Stratton reviewed movies together for a long time on Australian television. First they were on the ABC, then they were on the special broadcasting service SBS, and they're iconic in Australian cinema. David Stratton ran the Sydney Film Festival for years and fought censorship through the 60s and 70s intensely. And Margaret Pomerantz did the same thing in later decades. And I saw this and I thought, I'm going to give this a go. It's got 1,500 questions in it. It's Margaret and David at the Movies interactive quiz on DVD. So I am definitely going to give that a go. I may take a look at the format for it and see if there's a way I can try to do the trivia quiz on the channel. There's a couple of ways I can set that up to do, but it might be fun. It'll take a while because I've got to get the rig set up to do this. But I thought I'd get that, and it may make an interesting and somewhat different video for the channel. So that's the haul. It's a tall one. It's a lot of fun. It fills a few gaps in my collection, which is always a nice thing. And it didn't cost me too much, which is even better. Lots of more things to put on the shelves. I'm looking for shelving solutions at the moment because things are getting slightly strapped in the back room, which is right over there. I'm up for the challenge, and it may come to the idea of winnowing out the collection and getting rid of some of the dumb stuff that I've got. So that's it for this time around. Nice little haul, a little bit of fun, and I collected these over 3 or 4 days. And it's good to get out of the house, you know, get around, get a bit of cardio, wander around the dusty shelves of various shops and just find things that you didn't know were there. There are a whole bunch of collectors groups on Facebook now where people are collecting things from op shops. So it's almost like a challenge to find something good because there are a lot of other people out there who are doing it. It's part of what I do, it's part of what I enjoy. And I like finding unusual things. There's a serendipitous joy to looking around for these things in op shops. So that's it for this time around. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe and leave a comment. Hit the notification bell. You can support the channel by donating at patreon.com/terrytalksmovies. You can also become a channel member. Got lots of things coming up. We've got Science Fiction Saturday coming up next, and That's going to be an interesting one because I've got a list of movies. And I'm going to pick out the 2 ripest plums in that list and review them for you. So until then, watch some good movies, watch some bad movies, watch some cheap movies, and I'll catch you next time.